The internet went crazy over this watch in Watches and Wonders 2021, and for good reason. This watch is worth every bit of its retail price. But for Watches and Wonders 2025, Tudor released an updated model that fixed the biggest issue with the original one. That means that you can find this watch for insane deals. I've seen it as low as $3,500 on the secondary market. And after we review this watch, we'll touch on why this is not a Daytona copy. Let's review the Tudor Black Bay Chronograph. For those of you who are new, welcome. My name is Keanu Carey. I just turned 20 and I've been collecting watches for about 4 years now. In that time, I have developed some favorite brands, and Tudor is definitely one of them. I own a Tudor in my own collection. This is the Tudor from 1950s. I love this watch. I have personally recommended Tudor to my mom. She owns the Black Bay 36 and it looks great on her. Tudor is a great brand that was founded in 1926 by the same founder as Rolex. The original goal of the brand was to bring Rolex watches to a more affordable market. It wasn't until 2012, with the release of the original Black Bay line, that Tudor would attempt to distinguish themselves as their own brand. In 2018, they would explode in popularity with the release of the Black Bay 58. Most would consider the Black Bay 58 a perfect watch. It sold out instantly, and you had to be on a wait list if you wanted to get one. Tudor is a lot more innovative than their sister brand Rolex. They have been practicing with better movements with master chronometer, and they have also been practicing with better case materials with both ceramic, gold, and even silver. They're the only brand that I know of that does silver. Speaking of practicing with movements, this watch has an amazing movement that they borrowed and upgraded from Breitling. This watch uses the chronograph movement MT5813. It is a vertical column wheel chronograph that has time, quick set date, and a chronograph function that counts up to 45 minutes. It comes with a free sprung balance and a silicone balance spring, which helps protect it against shock and magnetism. It offers an impressive 70 hours of power reserve. This is really important because this watch has a date function, and I hate it when you set down the date function watch, and then when you go to pick it back up, you have to reset the date. Tudor regulates this movement to a very impressive -2 + 4 seconds a day, which is some of the best accuracy of a mechanical movement, let alone a mechanical chronograph. To operate the chronograph movement, you have to unscrew the top pusher and push in on it. After 60 seconds, it'll make a full sweep, and then the ticker on the 45-minute counter will move over one tick. Because of the upgraded movement, this watch was able to shave off about 0.5 millimeter of thickness from the case. This is very noticeable, so let's talk about the specifications and the wearability. The case measures at 41 millimeters in diameter and about 50 millimeters lug to lug. The new thickness of the case is 14.5 millimeters, but it really doesn't wear that thick. It has a domed sapphire crystal on the top, and the movement kind of sinks into your wrist, so the actual side profile of the watch is only about 9 millimeters. The lug width is 22 millimeters, which feels about right. This watch has a more masculine feel and is definitely going to have a bigger presence on the wrist. It also comes with a screw-down crown and screw-down pushers, giving it 200 meters of water resistance, which is twice that of the Rolex Daytona. To give you an idea of how big this watch is compared to my wrist, I could remove every single link if I wanted to, and this watch would still wear pretty loose. Here's a shot of this on my mom's wrist. I think she pulls it off way better than I do. Here are her top 3 comments she had to say about this watch. She says that she loves the 2 black circles. She loves how easy it is to read the date. And she says she really likes the sapphire glass. Quote, "You know how rough I am on my watches." Let's talk about the aesthetics of this dial. There's no secret that this watch has a very alluring look to it. The Panda dial is simply striking. And I'm telling you, it looks better in person. I'm trying my best to show that on video, but you gotta see this watch in person to really understand it. The black and white contrast very well. They would match any outfit you could think of. I love how the tachymeter is black and it kind of frames the dial a little bit. It also gives it a smaller presence on the wrist by breaking up the dial into different colors. The intentional symmetrical placement of the 6 o'clock date window is very pleasing to look at and also very legible to read. And everything on this dial is very three-dimensional. The sub-dials are recessed, the date has a recessed frame, and the markers are applied with very strong lume. The case itself is very pleasing to look at. The side of it is polished, which gives it a very shiny look, and then the top of it is brushed, which allows to protect against scratches. This case also comes with polished edges, which look really good on it. The crown also comes with the Tudor Rose logo, which looks amazing. I had a really hard time keeping my eyes off this watch because of how cool it looked, but let's get into the value. There's not a better chronograph in the $3,500 to $4,500 range. Tudor is one of the best brands in this price bracket. They're really good for offering hype pieces like the flamingo and the blue chronograph, but they're also known to listen to what enthusiasts want. I'm thinking of the Black Bay Pro with the white dial, and I'm thinking of the Black Bay 58 GMT when they thin down the case. Tudor as a brand has more status than Longines. They make better watches than Tissot. They are frankly better than Omega, and I will argue that. In the current market, I think that Tudor is the watch brand that people, even who are new or even seasoned collectors, should be looking to pick up. But this watch is not perfect. No watch is. Let's talk about the big setback. Here's my own personal Tudor that has a riveted, stretchy bracelet. The new Tudor has faux rivets. The new rivets add nothing to the watch other than a stylistic nod to the old. Make up your mind on this, but most people would say that these faux rivets are not very appealing and that they should remove it from the bracelet entirely. The older clasp on this bracelet also offers 3 sections of micro adjustment, but absolutely no on the fly adjustment. However, for watches in Wonders 25, Tudor released an updated model with an updated bracelet. Not only did they get rid of the faux rivets with the 5-link bracelet, but they also offered a T-fit clasp with several points of on-the-fly adjustment. I said it before, but Tudor is really good at listening to its customers. These were 2 big issues we had with the watch, and Tudor fixed it with 1 update. The new model with the updated bracelet will cost you about $6,000, which I totally think is worth it, but if you don't think it's worth it, you can always wait for the secondary prices to come down. Another con that people might bring up, so I thought it was worth mentioning, is the screw-down pushers. My mom said, quote, "I don't like those things on the side." And this is your reminder that most people have no idea any watch terminology, but I think they look quite pleasing, which is why I'm putting it in the con section, but I'm also telling you they're not that big of a deal. I think they're cool, but if you are finding yourself timing regularly, like you're one of the 3 people who uses their chronograph, you might be annoyed by this. Before I tell you why this watch is definitely not a Daytona copy, please take the time to like and subscribe. It really does help the video, and I really do appreciate it. Thank you. Tudor came out with their first automatic chronograph in 1976, whereas Rolex came out with their first automatic chronograph in 1988. So did Tudor really copy the Rolex? That fact aside, the resemblance is very clear, and I'll give you a couple of distinctions between the two, even though this isn't meant to be a full comparison video. The Rolex has a thinner movement and wears smaller on the wrist, meaning it has a more elegant feel. The Rolex also has polished center links and is not available on any 5-link bracelet. The Rolex has a ceramic bezel, while the Tudor has an aluminum insert. The Rolex can count several hours, it has 3 subdials, and it loses the date function. But here's the big kicker. The Rolex is 3 times the retail price of the Tudor, and on the secondary market, it's 6 times the price of the Tudor. Especially with the T-fit clasp, I think that this watch is better than the Daytona. This is not something I would have said a year ago, having not had this watch in hand, but Daytona aside, this is the best watch I've handled at its price point. Would I buy this watch? If I could get the bracelet to fit me, hell yeah I would. This watch is awesome. I would definitely go with the 5-link bracelet. I'd pay a little bit more, get that T-fit clasp, but this is a really killer watch. Even on my smaller wrist, this watch doesn't overhang, and I think it would wear amazing. If you have even a medium to large size wrist, this watch will wear so well on you. You definitely have to try this one on to understand how well it'll wear. You probably shouldn't let a 20-year-old on the internet tell you how to spend your money, but as a biased person who has held this watch, yes, I do think you should buy it. It is just an incredible watch that I wish I gave it a chance sooner. Go watch the next video on my channel. I think that you'd really like the vintage review of the same watch, the Panda Tudor Chronograph, but the vintage one, the big block. If you don't like that video, check out another one in the playlist, and I'll see you over there. Peace.